Welcome back. In preparation for a program on community social services for Leadership Cincinnati, we conducted a survey to determine the concerns of the 50 community leaders in this year's program. One of the top things that emerged was the perception that as a region we have too many not-for-profits, which leads to fragmentation and inefficiency. Over the years, not-for-profits, especially the more sophisticated, often look for efficiency through collaboration and formal merger. Just as in the for-profit world, making that happen in an effective way that blends organizational cultures is not easy. Several weeks ago, 2 local organizations took another major step in a several-year process of merging their organizations. Claremont Counseling Center and Family Service announced their new name, LifePoint Solutions. I am joined this morning by Arlene Herman, the Director of Family Service, which dates back to 1879 and has served families in Hamilton County and Northern Kentucky for decades, and Tricia Burke, the Director of Claremont Counseling Center. Welcome to Newsmakers, and in your case, Arlene, welcome back.
Thank you.
Tricia, what is Claremont Counseling Service traditionally? What are the kinds of services you offer people in Claremont County?
We were the first mental health center in Claremont County, and over the years have a whole range of services, primarily for those with pretty severe mental illness. So we can do the treatment services, the care management services, employment services, and also then help them with housing services. So our name is a little deceptive in terms of the breadth of services that we have.
And Arlene, how would you sort of summarize, capsulize what family service has been in the last decade or so?
We're really a comprehensive counseling agency with an expertise in mental health and substance abuse, but we have specialized programs for children and International Family Resource Center, and we're regional. As you know, we have offices located in Northern Kentucky, as well as downtown, as well as in Price Hill.
Yeah, just so I put everything on the table, I worked for you to do the history of the organization, which is absolutely fascinating organization, which is an organization in itself that had absorbed other organizations over time and has had a very complicated institutional history. So there's people who think things go in straight lines in not-for-profit world. That's not true either. Why, though, and how long ago, why did you begin to talk with each other about the possibility of not just cooperating, but actually merging? How long ago did that start?
December 2007. But that was really a result of strategic planning on both of our board's parts, independent of one another. I can speak for the Family Service Board, which really felt to be successful in the future, we needed to grow significantly. We were at the time $5 million operation, and we needed to get up to $10 million. And we knew we couldn't do that through program growth.
You needed to get up to $10 million because you thought there was an efficiency level at that level, or is it just you wanted to be bigger?
No. We wanted to see some more economies of scale.
Okay.
And with all the cuts, if you're just at $5 million, you could be at $3 million in 2 years. It was more, what are you going to continue to lose given the climate? And this is even before the economic downturn.
Right. And what about, Tricia, what for you, what sort of brought you to even think about this, or your board in your case?
Strategically, it was similar. We are a $5 million operation as well.
So similar size.
The reimbursement rates for services in Ohio have not increased for 13 years. So every year our cost of service goes up.
Reimbursement from?
Mainly for Medicaid, but we also have a large contract with a mental health board, and those reimbursement rates are very similar. And so every year your costs go up, but your reimbursement rates do not. And we just were seeing this erosion of infrastructure, and it was we weren't in trouble yet, but we knew if we could get bigger, your administrative overhead is spread over a much larger base.
So for both of these organizations, the beginnings of this movement start before the real serious economic downturn. This is not in response to a crisis.
Correct.
This is looking strategically at saying where you need to be. Am I right on that?
Absolutely.
Right.
And then, okay, that's December 2007. So we're talking all of 2008, 2009. What was going on in those 2 years? Why does it take so long?
Not-for-profits are notorious for due diligence processes, and I understand it because this is a very serious decision. And our board, both boards had working committees to look at the finances, to look at the feasibility, the IT, what were the liabilities, what were the assets, and to really make an informed decision. I think that's where not-for-profit boards are wonderful, because they want to make the right decision. So during that time, we had our due diligence process. And actually, we legally merged last July.
Okay.
But we didn't do our public announcement until a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and this whole choosing a new name.
Right.
But let's not get to that for a second. What assets did, say, Claremont Counseling Service, what did you bring to the table that maybe were a real help to family service, or vice versa? But let's look at Claremont here.
We had a great deal of expertise in working with people with very, very severe illnesses, and also our expertise in helping people find jobs. So many people come to both agencies who are low income, and oftentimes their mental health struggles are resulting from financial issues as well.
What about on that management level? Arlene mentioned IT. Was there one organization that was better positioned in that sort of structural question?
We had the IT software that they had been looking at. So we brought not only the learning curve of having used it, we had the ability to bring them onto that system fairly easily. But they had a stronger financial structure, which we really needed. We both needed new accounting software. They had a phone system that was more robust. So there were a lot of things.
So there's those structural things.
Absolutely.
Now, has this meant, you formally merged 6 months ago? Is that when it was?
July.
Okay, July, 8 months ago.
Do you know when July was? Right.
Whenever it was, yeah. And have you actually been able to reduce the management level staff at this point so that more of your available funds are going to services?
It's a really critical question, because what happened is we were eroding our staff. We had open positions that we couldn't fill. So Claremont Counseling Center, for instance, had a chief operating officer. We had a vacancy. So we by natural attrition got to reduce some positions. But there were a few positions that did get reduced. But the experts say in not-for-profit mergers, you often do not get this, cut, because you're operating on such a slim margin that you really don't have a lot to cut. But in the business operations, we were able to make some reductions.
Let me ask a delicate question. Both of you CEOs, right?
Right.
What happens here?
That's the best answer. Tricia and I have been in our positions almost the same number of years, close to 17. We are similar in age, and we have similar retirement plans, so that when we do retire, whether it be 3, 4, 5 years, then there will be one CEO.
Okay, so ultimately there will be a merger on the CEO level, so there really will. Okay,
let me just add we have divided responsibilities. I always add that. We're not doing one job, split in half and getting paid the same. We have divided responsibility and accountability to our board.
Now that you have done the merger, you've announced the new identity, LifePoint, what's left? Is that the end, or is this still a process? And I think it's important to kind of understand that.
There is so much to do when you're two equal size organizations, because you really have to look at everything you do, from your compensation systems, your IT systems, the way you do your budgeting and accounting, the way you integrate your programs and services, so that you really maximize the expertise that each brings, and it's an intense process.
I gave that gratuitous plug to Leadership Cincinnati at the beginning, which I run, but so often business people will say, oh, not-for-profits, they don't run in a business manner. If they just would run in a business-like way, things would be better. The process that you're describing at all stages here sounds to me very business-like.
Right, absolutely. We do. We run very much a business, and we do it, really with not much opportunity to have the research, the development, the kinds of things that businesses bring. Yeah. But we're very much a business.
So this merging of cultures right now is the new task. Is there literally a getting people together, staffs together, so they know each other?
I'm going to have Tricia answer that.
as you bring people together to work on tasks together and they get to know each other, that's really been positive. We have brought this full staff together a couple times, and actually last week when we did our staff celebration launch of the new name and gave everybody business cards in their mug, and at the end of it, the staff gave Arlene and I a standing ovation. So I think the staff feel good about the merger. They see it's proactive. They like the new name. So
I really find this whole process, and that's why I invited you on, because the process of this merger in the not-for-profit world, I think, is often overlooked, and what your two organizations have done with your boards and your staffs and you two individually is really interesting and admirable, and congratulations on what you've accomplished. And if people want to know more about it, it's now, the website is
www.lifepointsolutions.org.
LifePointSolutions.org. Thank you for being here. Good luck as you move forward on this whole process.
Thank
you for making Newsmakers a part of your Sunday morning. Join us again next week to meet the men and the women shaping our community for the future. Have a good week.